Supreme Family Chaos, Chapter 20, The Absence of Magic and Its Con. Creator, Eliza Phoenix. No, 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 no. Stephen gestures his hands and then stares at them when nothing happens. His magic was gone. The sling ring wasn't working, and neither was his spells. But by some miracle, the cloak of levitation was unaffected by whatever was blocking Stephen's power. This could not happen. Tony and Peter needed his assistance with a bank heist, and they were expecting him to be there now. Except that was obviously not happening. Guess we're doing this the old-fashioned way. He activates his nanotech armor, and jumps out the window once Levi settles on his shoulder. He was suddenly glad he had practiced chasing Peter across the rooftop. Victor, find me the fastest route to Tony and Peter, and call them until one of them picks up. Yes, doctor. Direction to the bank soon flashed on Stephen's mask. And after a couple of minutes, Tony's contact picture pops up as well. Stephen, I swear if this is some punishment for something I did. No. Don't I wish. I'm currently magicless right now. Come again? My magic isn't working. The only thing useful is the cloak. I'm on my way though. I'll be there in about 3 minutes. Please tell me you have your suit on. I'm not talking on my cell phone. Whatever, hurry up. The roof isn't exactly light. What is the deal with you two and collapsing buildings? Stephen soon approaches the bank and rushes in just as another part of the roof starts to cave in over Peter. He pushes the masked vigilante away and catches the concrete over his shoulder, grunting at the exertion. A bomb must have gone off because the building was halfway through folding on itself to this point. Anyone trapped would have to be crouched or crawl their way out. Where are the people who did this? Stephen grits out. I already wept them and turned them to the police outside. Dad and I were trying to get the hostages out when the building collapsed. Get them out now. Now! Peter nods and crawls through an open space in the rubble and hears Tony grunt over the still active phone. How much longer can you hold it? I am way beyond my limit. The moment Spider-Man gives us the way, I'm dropping this rock and giving Friday full control of the suit. I'm surprised I'm still conscious. Stephen frowns at his words and watches Peter lead a couple of people to safety. The heat signature on his monitor shows 3 more people, not including Tony. Tony? Another grunt. Yeah, babe? Do you have a head injury? Stephen asks seriously. Don't play doctor with me right now. Tony, do not pass out. Spiderling, pick up the pace. I'm getting the last people out right now. It was the longest 2 minutes both Stephen and Tony's life. Tony because his vision was starting to spot from his head injury, and Stephen because he was worried about Iron Man. Whether Iron Man would pass out and get crushed under his burden. The moment Peter gave them the all clear, the sorcerer dropped his slab of concrete and rushed over to Tony to relieve him of his. Peter, help your father and don't let him pass out. The teen hastily throws Tony over his shoulder, around his neck, and helps the eldest superhero get out of the bank. and when they safely make it out of the building, Stephen drops the concrete and Levi whisks him out just as the building caves in. There's got it. The doctor races over to his family, sitting at an ambulance, and double taps the removable arc reactor on Tony's chest. Stephen gently grips his head and inspects the injury at the man's temple, as well as the back of the head. No, Tony, stay awake. The billionaire slumps to his side and Stephen curses when he keeps Tony from falling to the ground. He re-engages the engineer's suit and looks over to Peter. Finds his eyes in the mask, and the teen's eyes in the mask widens with worry. Victor, have Friday take control of Tony's suit and get him to the tower. Inform Bruce of his injuries and that he's on his way. Peter walks into the living room after Bruce assures him that Tony will be fine after some rest, and finds Stephen passed out on the couch. The sorcerer was not used to expending that much of physical energy, even with his suit. And after looking into the reason for the disappearance of his powers, he declared he was tired after finding out it was because of something as stupid and cliche as a harvest moon. Stephen's powers would return to him in a few days. Peter glances at the occupied couch, then the TV, before shrugging and grabbing a controller, and gently sits on the doctor's exposed back. When he barely gets a grumble out of Stephen, he crosses his legs and turns his attention to his game, barely registering the voices in the elevator. Friday told me that Stephen is sleeping, so don't wake him up, unless you want to free fall for a few hours. The teen recognizes the voice as Rhodey. Another chuckles. Yes, he did that to my brother. The elevator hisses open, and Peter elects to ignore the two new people in favor of his game. Does the Man of Spider know of this warning? Peter identifies the second person as Thor, out of the corner of his eyes, except the god's hair was much shorter. Rhodey smiles. Mama Bear's cub is the exception. I'm pretty sure he could jump on the guy and not get a reaction. Peter pauses his game to look at the two men. That's not true. He would obliterate me. Thor glances at the pair on the couch before giving Rhodey a puzzled expression. Wait, Mama Bear? Cub? The colonel sighs. Right, you haven't been here for a while. Let me catch you up. Peter returns to his game as Rhodey and Thor takes a seat on one of the other two couches. And the next hour passes quickly as the colonel explains the inside joke to God of Thunder. Thor took the story just like everyone else had, and actually agreed to the terms fit Stephen and Peter, and was rather endearing. At this point, Peter was used to the looks of mirth and could easily ignore them, especially when he had something else to focus on. Peter glances down at the sleeping sorcerer, grins, and looks back towards Thor and Rhodey. Technically, Mom can't send you into another dimension right now. His powers are AWOL for a few days. Before the two men can say anything, an air vent swings open and Clint jumps down with a huge grin. I've been waiting for my chance to get revenge after he threw me across the room. Peter points at the assassin. Touch my mom and I'll do what I did to Scott. Yeesh, I forgot how the spider baby can be. Wait a second. Clint looks between the teenager and the sleeping sorcerer. Are you sitting on him? He's letting you do that? For what it's worth, I think he's too tired to care. Or I'm pretty sure he would have pushed me off. Peter responds honestly. Clint snorts. Yeah, no. He's letting you. If it was anyone else, he would have pushed them off, no matter how tired he is. I'm seriously considering moving back to the sanctum. Stephen grumbles against his pillow. Noisy. He turns into his side, forcing Peter to move onto the open space in front of the sorcerer, and Stephen reaches up to gently ruffle the teen's brown curls. How's Tony? Peter hands the controller to Clint after the archer sits on the ground against the couch. He was sleeping when Uncle Bruce kicked me out of the medbay. Stephen chuckles. So we should expect to see him in the next hour. Pretty much. A comfortable silence fills the room, with the exception of the video game on the TV, until Thor finally gives a voice to his thoughts. After watching Stephen and Peter, he really is a mama bear. Brody laughs. Everyone is officially on board Strange. I've accepted the inevitable. This is hardly news, Brody.